that they're sweet and you like living on island time? Oh,
Island living. It's just funny. It always makes me think of that the episode of The Office where Michael goes on vacation to Jamaica and comes back, and it's just all sad. It's February, and he's like trying to pretend that he's still on the island.
Yeah, with this.
He's got this single little braid. Yeah, and he's got like he brought home a steel drum. It's so funny. All right,
Had to be there. Had to be there.
Honestly, you
I
don't.
know what he's talking about.
Yeah, because it's like the best show ever, John, and you don't know it. So that seems like more an on you thing.
I never moved beyond Dave Chappelle pretending to be. I think it was Dave Chappelle in Half Baked pretending to be Jamaican.
Right by the beach, man.
Right by the beach.
That was the high point and really the last, I guess, for me.
All right.
So Michael got Jan to go with him to Sandals, so he was doing all right.
Can I get a link? Sorry, I'm trying to find.
Let's see. Are we live? We're live.
Well, the YouTube video is rolling, so that'll be in the archive, but we're not.
Okay.
I haven't pushed it out yet.
Cece, who are you with at the beach? Like, did you have to like explain to them what you were doing, or was it like a thing that they already understood?
Well, I've felt kind of sick all day, so I've kind of been just laying in bed. So I didn't explain to anyone anything. But I mean, Kyle's downstairs, so I'm sure like if someone asks, he'll tell them. But we're not with his whole family. His sister actually is on bed rest, but we're with his brothers, one of their wives, and then my father-in-law. So it's kind of a skeleton crew.
In the meantime, they think you've been in bed sick all day. Now you're talking to yourself, so they're like, "Oh God!"
Right, exactly.
Could be worse.
Yes, that's true.
I just need like 2 minutes. Sorry.
I just want to let you guys know to take in my face because you won't see it for much longer. I had an accident. It's been the first time it's been aired out.
Did
probably
you
5 or 6 years.
Did you mess it up, buddy? Oh, I'm sorry.
I did. It was bad. I had a big strike going like right here, so I didn't have much choice.
I kind of clipped.
Were you like hitting some vape and then trying to shave, or what?
No, I had my battery died on my good trimmer, and I grabbed the other one and forgot that the guide is tricky.
Can you guys hear this? Beautiful.
The beer guts, yeah.
Thanks, that's helpful.
All I can get Colleen to say about my trim job is, it looks kind of dated.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you look a little younger. Take some time off. It takes a year or two off there.
I like my professor look.
I mean, the 90s are coming back, right? So maybe the Goater's coming back too.
Yeah, what the fuck is like fanny packs and stuff?
Yeah.
Like...
Normcore, people are dressing up like, disposable cups and shit on the internet.
I did take my jeans for work yesterday.
You what now?
Like picking the worst things from the 90s to bring back.
Yeah.
I did
you
like
never picked your jeans?
I clipped my my sideburns weird like the first week working from home, and like I had the same impulse of like, oh, I gotta take it all off, and then I'm just like, who gives a shit? It's gonna grow back. Like, I'm not Schnars over here. It's not gonna take 6 months.
I don't understand. Like, is the 90s coming back? Like, is that a joke, or is that like an actual thing that's happening?
I think it's like a thing.
No,
like,
it's
remember
happening,
like 20
dude.
years ago, like the 80s kind of.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
like
now the age that we were when we all started being dickheads about the 80s and the internet, now I mean, we're really 90s kids anyway, with the exception of Casey. Sorry, dude. I mean, we're like 80s babies, 90s kids. You know what I mean?
Hey, 90s was a transformative decade for me.
Listen,
I lost,
you and me
I lost
too,
my
buddy.
virginity then too.
No comment. No
That's what we're
comment.
talking about, right?
Might as well be. That's when I got married too. So.
I do really appreciate. I do really.
That's what I said the first time I had sex.
I very much appreciate the meme of Joe constantly never missing a chance to remind us of that. Just to let us know.
I can tell the full story on the show.
We're good.
I think you did.
We're good.
I think we already did, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been told.
You said
Trust
some
me,
shit back in the day.
There's a lot more detail than I should know.
Oh, I
He's
need it.
already not feeling great, so let's not push this.
I needed this. Hard disagree. It's feeling great.
Oh boy.
So while we're spinning our wheels here before we start, Tommy from BGH sent me the Casey You're on Mute beer,
Oh, you should talk about that like when we do beer guts, though.
And it is fantastic. I didn't want to take beer guts away from you, Joe.
No, absolutely. That's
Get in there, yeah.
yeah.
Wait, what is the style? What's the?
It's a New England IPA, I think, right?
Yes, it's a New England style double India Pale Ale.
Nice double. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about tonight's show, Joe. Is
Hope you don't have kids to pick up from the.
we're gonna have to
soccer
talk about
Nah.
we're gonna have to talk about the boyfriend's behavior. So I feel like it's going in that direction regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on just how horny everyone in this movie was. All like 97 cast members that
Joe-
had equal screen time.
Can you? I know I mentioned this, but can you pull some Instagram
Yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, I've got.
We actually have two like awesome emails, but they're short.
I haven't checked how many tweets we have, but we only had like 2 when I looked at.
Yeah. So and there was some funny stuff on Instagram. So
Did you guys see the thing I sent with the link to the photo gallery for this movie? Speaking of horny, by the way, I mean
photo-
it's just
the
it's
photo gallery.
it's just like a very weird thing. No, I put it in the chat. I started a chat, but I don't think anyone saw it or yeah.
No,
All right,
I
the
see you.
link is pushed to Patreon. FYI.
Hey, what's up, fuck faces?
Hey,
Ah,
just
boy.
because you're still bitter about them telling you look like the Jeopardy
Dude,
contestant.
Wait,
let's
what?
legit-
Oh, that dude on Twitter. Let's talk about it. Just save it. That's good. Let's save it. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, so we should talk about that, I guess, Eric, and then at the end we should talk about t-shirt sales.
Yeah, I have that first on my list coming out of the break.
And then I want to mention we're on Strava now, or I don't know how do you pronounce
What
that.
the
John, you might.
Fuck is
No, I think that's right.
What is
Strava?
Strava? What is Strava?
I
All right,
use
you know what?
Nike, so
I actually want you guys to explain this to me in real time because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So let's just do it.
it's actually like not complicated at all. But
Well,
No,
that's
it's
fine.
not
Yeah.
that
It's a
hard.
bit,
Can't
John.
wait.
Okay, can we just can you let me have this?
just
Yeah.
yeah, there we
Thank
go.
I don't want to like disappoint you though. Build you up like the way you
Yeah.
built me up for this Vanilla Ice scene that
All right. All
turned out to
right.
be a guy that could barely speak.
Wait, and is anybody prepared to talk about this dude, Nathan Jones? Was he like yeah? Oh, he was a WWE guy.
Oh, Nathan Jones and me. You want to talk about
What?
What?
I see where you're going there. That was such a terrible reference. I just.
that? Are you kidding me?
Nathan Jones. Yeah. Yes. I'm serious.
One of our I staff our production team, and one of the guys that's on our weekly call is named Jason Jones, and he's like 2 or 3 weeks away from quitting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he hates you.
I think I've told the story before, but I work with a dude named Richard, who's never seen Tommy Boy. Which, like, first of all,
Richard?
what the fuck?
Yeah. Like,
Literally every time I need something, I'll just bellow from the other room. I'll be like, Richard, which out of context, we haven't seen the movie, is really weird, and I can't help it. Like, I always think of the scene when he answers the door in his underwear, and David Spade's there, and he's like, hold me. It's a lot, but I can't. I really I want to take the time to just make a supercut of every time he says Richard in that movie and just give it to him so that he can understand. But
Yeah.
you know,
Legit, John, what is this photo in here?
Right? Isn't that so weird?
Is
I
that
just-
woman even in this movie?
No, 100% not. That's what, and it's one of the, you know how like when you go to the movie and there's like 5 pictures where it's like, here's like 5 screens. That was one of them. And then I'm like, wait a second, did I miss like something that went on in this movie? So I click on the full gallery and I was like, no, that's just like totally wrong. So,
all right, we're rolling. I'm ready. Can everybody mute? Wait, Cece, where are you right now? Can I say where you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's Cape Sandblast in Florida.
Florida. You're in Florida right now? Are you fucking kidding me?
But I'm on a private beach. I literally have not seen anyone.
Did you fly? Well, no, you live in Georgia, right? So you drove?
Yes, we
Okay.
just drove.
All right, that's all right. I'm just worried about you, okay, Cece?
It's like
Hey,
across the street.
Hey, I did not get out and go into any restaurants or
right.
restrooms or anything.
Good,
so
because you're
we have
making
had
me
very minimal-
you're making me go into
you
dad
just
mode
Gatorade
here.
bottle in the car. Or...
Don't make me tell that story again, John. Okay?
No, it's,
It's been told on the
I've-
show
I've-
before.
We've all been there, all right? We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, let's do it. Stand by.
Welcome to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Boar. It says it right behind me here, John. Slack catching up with, or Skype catching up with 2020. Finally, here we are.
You're telling me
right behind you.
You couldn't do that until this week?
I'll be honest with you. I guess I never looked until this week, but you know. Here we are.
Nah, let's just use it as a way to rib the Skype people.
This is an Australian monster movie. It's on Shudder. We checked it out. We're going to review it here in a little bit. But first up, who is with me tonight? First up, Joe from Chicago.
What's up, DJ Tiny Hands?
Next up on the show from, and this detail cannot be overlooked, a private beach somewhere. Please welcome from remote, Cece.
Hello.
We can
remote unknown.
we can unpack that later. Let's say.
Yes.
Next up on the show from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello.
And last up from parts unknown, still got the hair, but still my heart. Please welcome John to the show.
Hair's not going anywhere, Eric.
I had a. Did your wife tell you that her and I had a conversation on Instagram about your hair the other day?
Yeah, she let me know.
Yeah.
The question we're all wondering, John, is the curtain match the drapes right now? Have you given up manscaping along with up top, or what's the?
I need to see it. I need to see it in a ponytail. I've never needed anything more.
Wait, which one are we talking about here?
I think if it's, I'm not gonna keep
it together, Joe.
Yeah.
I gotta see, John. Like, for those of you who aren't Patreon members, the linen shirt tonight is giving me like Eric feels for you.
Oh,
like it's
nice.
You're very like bright and glowing. Like I feel like I want to go have a cheeseburger in paradise
you got that
with
nice
you.
little pop of color from your barrette. It's
well,
good.
I was about to say I liked it. It looks like you're on the veranda. You know, you've got your plants
You look
behind
like you're at a
You need,
really
like a big margarita.
You look like you're at a really like bullshit destination wedding that nobody wanted to go to, but they felt like they had to.
Yeah, it's in like.
I'm cultivating a whole thing here, guys. It's a whole look, feel.
You need a margarita and like a Virginia Slim in a extendable filter.
Yeah, there's a plant on the left side. There's a calendar that potentially is on the wrong month. Like I just.
That's
I mean,
the whole second half of 2020 calendar.
Joe,
so we're good.
Joe, what are months? I'm unfamiliar with the concept right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, guys, we're here to talk about Boar, but first, Joe, what are we drinking tonight?
Beer guts.
Oh, no point. All right, I'll wait for the point. Hey, Boar, a movie about a boar, and 97 people that interact with this boar over an hour and 38 minutes. And one of those people is a giant hulking gentleman by the name of Bernie in this movie. And in honor of him and all his hulkiness, I picked a beer from the good folks at Noon Whistle Brewing. They're out in Lombard, Illinois. And the name of this beer is Bernie.
Ooh.
Nice.
The kind of beer that Bernie would walk into a store and be like, "Oh, good day, mate. I'm looking for a beer," and he'd be like, "Oh, that one's named after me. I want to pick that one up, I am."
Is he a pirate?
I like Australian and like Cockney kind of blended into one. So,
it's okay.
You don't say.
Yeah. So. Bernie is a sweet milk stout, John, which means that they use
milk and alcohol.
Yeah.
Always tops for me.
So they use lactose in the brewing process, which gives it sort of a creamy sweetness to it. Some of these are a bit too much for me. I don't really like sweet beers, but this one's actually balanced really nice with the stoutiness side of it. So that like coffee and like dark chocolate flavor kind of evens things out, and it's very good. Noon Whistle, everything they put out is great. They're pretty popular in this area. They don't distribute super far, so Illinois, we're pretty much on the decline. So bring your filthy, disgusting asses from your other states here and spike us back up.
Oh, God, don't get me started, Joe.
Yeah. Comes in at only 5% alcohol, which is pretty standard for the style. Like the stouts don't get super high unless you get into like the Imperials and things like that. So you can definitely drink a bunch of these around the campfire and still enjoy yourself. The thing I like about Noon Whistle, John, their beers, they actually have those tops, their cans, that like the whole top comes off, so you can drink it right out of the can like a glass.
I've never seen this contraption.
I thought you were going to say there was a whistle that came with the can, but
it only works at noon. But no, Eric, it's so... The can, you pull the top, and like it takes off the whole ring on top. So pretty much your can is then a glass. Like you don't have to put in anything else.
Quit talking about my can.
All right, man. Cool.
Science.
I don't get it, but it sounds cool.
Friggin' science, man.
Yeah.
So noonwhistlebrewing.com is their website, and yeah, good stuff.
Well, since everybody admonished me there,
yeah.
I'm going to jump in here on Joe's Beer Guts and talk about Tommy, who is a BGH fan, hangs out with us on Patreon, who made us a bit aware of this awesomely titled beer. Casey, you're on mute. From Four Noses Brewing, and he sent me some, and it is freaking delicious. And I can go ahead and say, to add on to Joe's usual spiel for this, he sent me a couple other Four Noses beer too.
Yeah,
there was a key lime velvet, which was a key lime pie flavored beer. There was a Saturday morning breakfast cereal milk stout. They have really good beers, so check out Four Noses as well.
Wow, that is amazing. So when he posted that, like I immediately went there and tried to figure out like where they got the name from, because I did get very excited that like maybe these guys listen to us and somehow they're type. No, it's like one of their brewers that like was constantly muted when they would have like team meetings. While quarantine. So
it still feels special because I think it was just last episode that Eric had to tell me, Casey, you're on mute.
Yeah. Well, last episode and then like
episode
80% of the other episodes.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time. It's been like 12, 13 years.
Yeah. Yes, it has. All right. All I was gonna say was that my parents were in town this weekend, and it's like my mom left a bunch of White Claws here, and I'm just like, why are you doing this to me?
Because you mean thank you? And
listen.
Like what's?
I don't need more alcohol in the house, John. All right.
That's the only benefit to hosting a party at your house is nobody wants to take their beer home, so they leave it behind. Yeah. That's the only reason to host a party.
My parents don't drink beer. So like when we go home and we're all, once or twice a year, we all get together, we all buy beer and it ends up in the fridge and stays there for years. Like I am 90% positive they have a Bud Ice in their garage fridge from like 2003.
You should just put that on eBay. I bet you could get something.
I mean, finally aged.
My dad didn't drink really when I was growing up, but like every like Thanksgiving and Easter and like Christmas, he would have a beer. So he would have like a case of Molson in the basement for like years.
Yeah.
And just like bring one up for every holiday.
Yeah. My parents never drank either growing up, like my mom and my stepdad. So I was used to never having alcohol in the house. And like 2-3 years ago, when we go home every year for Labor Day weekend and spend the whole weekend, my mom and stepdad actually bought me a 6-pack and put it in the fridge, and it blew my mind seeing beer and alcohol in their house.
They want to be good hosts. That's very nice.
Yeah, but it doesn't help either though that your parents sit there and stare at you while you drink it to see how goofy you're gonna get after.
Our families are different, but we can just leave it there.
My parents stocked a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. So as soon as I went to college, like my parents are like, all right, fuck it. Like, and now they're just like,
my dad was
at weddings.
Story.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to move it along here. Let's take a quick break so that we can review Boar.
This is
attention of it. Your big break in TV. But the prime time. Main feature.
John Schnars.
Eric.
Before the show, do you want to talk? Like, it seems like you felt a little attacked that none of us were ragging on Cece about the private beach thing. Like you felt kind of left out, you know?
I rented it from John, so I don't know why y'all are so, you know.
All I know is Cece's
Well
going to be a
played.
mom. She deserves a private beach.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I also got to
The
say,
thing is,
True.
like, I remember years ago on Cece's first episode when she came on As Above, So Below, like she brought so many facts and John was out that week and we're like, wow, you're like a better John. And like now you're on a private beach, like doing things that John can't attain.
Yeah,
like,
right,
again,
you're-
just
Like
Yeah.
producing children.
Yeah.
I actually hadn't really thought about it like that, Joe, but now I'm thinking. Now I'm there.
Yeah. You know, lots
Yeah.
of facts, private beach, can
Oh,
pull off long
Lord.
hair. Like it's just there's a lot.
Yo, do not judge.
I
when,
mean-
you know, we're mid-process here, Joe.
Yeah, let John grows out first, and then you can decide if you like it or not.
Wait till you get
Oh.
the
Cece,
ponytail.
you
I
don't
like
need
it.
to make him feel better, all right? Fuck the patriarchy, okay? Like you, it's not your.
This is true. I agree.
Here's what I will say.
I'm taking on no additional emotional labor.
Exactly.
Here's what I will say, and I had this thought this morning. You know, 2020, it's bad, John. It's not great.
Yeah, the
It's
year.
just
not-
dawned on you
listen.
today.
I just had this really profound thought that 2020 is
Glad you
bad.
figured that out.
But you know what I was thinking, John? For like 3 straight months, we have had the pleasure of having you and Cece on the show almost every week.
True.
How lucky
You're
are we?
welcome.
It only
You're
took a global Earth-stopping pandemic to get both of you
Yeah.
on the show every week.
I mean, Casey and I have been here too. Like,
Yeah, but Joe and I are always here. So.
Also,
Joe, it's not an attack on you. Just let it go. It's all right.
whatever I said just triggered Google Home. So, hey, John, what's the word of the day?
Eric, today's word, swine. S-W-I-N-E. Swine. It's a formal word for pig in North American English. Informally, a person regarded by the speaker with contempt and disgust. So a couple of references here. It comes to us from, I don't know, a lot of different European variants. The Dutch Zwin, German Schwein, or the English, they actually say the English sow, which I don't know, somehow that comes to us as swine. But yeah, swine. The boar here, I don't know. I mean, I think I actually don't know that much about pigs. I mean, maybe someone else, but like my understanding is like if you let pigs, domesticated pigs, just like run around, it doesn't take them all that long until they turn into, you know, just man-eating wild pigs.
Yes, John,
So-
please tell me everything you know about Australian bush pigs.
No. I don't even mean Australian pigs. I just mean like regular old pigs.
All
like,
the pigs you see in your daily life in New York City?
No, well, again, I can look this up if you want, but I had read somewhere that so domesticated pigs don't grow tusks, right? But
Right.
if you allow pigs to basically like go out into the wild, like within a generation, they will have tusks again. It like comes back like, so I don't know.
What's
that-
the difference
okay.
between a pig and a boar, John?
So a boar is just a male pig,
lot.
and boar is can be used as it's a male version of like lots of animals that are in the same kind of family as pigs too.
Well, that
Like-
sounds boorish.
John, did I tell you that I'm having a barbecue orgy this weekend for the 4th of July? It's my my annual swine dine in '69.
Oh, you've been saving that one for
No,
a long
literally,
time.
it just came to me when you said the word of the day.
I'm assuming there's still a couple days for my invite to show up.
Yeah, here you go. And is it an
Joe, I'll
untraded
I'll save you
domestic-
I'll save you the paper. Please don't send me an invite.
It's all
And,
e-bites, guys.
Joe, a boar is an uncastrated domestic male pig, the full-grown male of certain other animals, badger, guinea pig, or hedgehog. Also can be a boar.
Interesting. I did not realize that it could be outside of just your average pig. Huh.
Here we are.
Great. We know that now. Hey, John, why don't you tell me about Boar?
Whew, boar. I mean, this one can be pretty straightforward. The film takes place in Australia. I should say, directed by Chris Sun. He wrote. It was a writer, director, producer here. He and I believe his also sort of like his production company did this as well as some of the other films he's done. But yeah, I mean it is a wild giant boar. I don't know. It's in the film. I think they reference a rhinoceros size is like the reference point here, and it's just attacking a bunch of people in Australia. It's not even really the outback. It's kind of I don't know if they maybe. I don't think they give the town, but maybe they do. But it's not big city Australia. It's sort of small town, and then the sort of farmlands around it. And as Joe mentioned, there are many fun characters we meet through our time here. But
I didn't use that word, Joe.
I feel like it's been like enough of an amount of time since the last Australian movie that we did, and then had to profusely apologize to Aussie Andy that we should like. I'd feel no more prepared to talk about Australia. That's what I'm trying to say.
So all right. So I think
What was that one where the woman who actually started it listened to our show and John said that there was only one road in Australia?
No, didn't you say that, Joe? I'm pretty sure you said that.
God.
No, 100% John.
No, that was John.
something that I said, but
It was that. It's like a road movie, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like there's a
well, it was a zombie movie.
zombie road
Yeah.
tripping movie
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I don't remember.
It was like West something. No, I don't know.
It wasn't the battery, but it was
with a
that
W.
caliber.
I'm gonna look it
In
up.
any
You go
event,
ahead.
Eric, the last film we watched that
Wormwood. Was it Wormwood?
Wormwood. Yeah, that
Sorry,
was it.
I
Yes,
didn't
I
mean
never
to
would have
interrupt
found
you.
that, so thank you.
No, the last Australian movie we watched was Nightingale, I believe.
Mm.
It was called Nightingale, I think. And that was like super historically accurate. I mean, had all this like you had to like know things about Australia to sort of like understand and reflect on that film.
This is
Boar,
different.
I would say, is the opposite of that. I mean, I guess it's like helpful to know like something about wild pigs.
I
but
feel
you
like
all don't
honestly, I feel like
find
I feel like
information there,
I feel like
so-
if you're like us, Boar actually feeds into like all the worst, not worst, but just like the most base things we think when we hear like
Yeah.
Australia.
Yes, 100%. You could blame movies like Boar for any negative stereotypes about Australian people.
Hmm.
But yeah.
I mean,
I don't
it's
know,
not negative. Everybody in the movie's delightful. It's just not very nuanced.
This was the
Uh,
prequel to Borat, also, right, John? Wasn't that what you said?
It is listed on IMDb. They list this as an unofficial remake of Razorback, which is a 1980s.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that, but
culture
I've never
flick.
seen it.
Yeah.
What?
So-
I wonder if that was that Australian too. That would make sense.
Well,
but
it's
alright.
I think it's an American film, but set in Australia. Yeah.
Mm.
Word. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey-
Is there any other plot points you want to hit? I mean, the boar kills a bunch of people. So
we will get to the most important / horniest parts here shortly. Joe, do you want to kick us off there, buddy?
Yeah, sure. So this movie didn't do it for me. It's one, I was amazed, and John, I was hoping maybe you would have some background on this, but like Universal put this out.
yeah, I mean, they distributed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not pick up much more than that. No.
But it's pretty much a sci-fi movie that you would get on
Like,
the
you mean Siffy?
like
yeah,
Sci-Fi
the
Channel movie.
That's a little harsh.
Is it?
No.
I don't know.
I honestly think that's being kind, because I think the biggest problem I have with this is it's an hour 38. I want to say about 4 minutes of that is like Boar action, and the rest of it is just people sitting or standing or just being somewhere having a conversation. And every 15 minutes, new characters are introduced and then like disposed of. I couldn't tell you who the star of this was.
Bill
Maybe
Moseley.
it's but is it?
No, it's definitely not Bill Moseley.
So I don't know.
He-
Like it's
Bill Moseley is the star of my heart in this movie. You could say
I
that.
can I totally I have no problem with movies like this, like low budget. Like I appreciate what they did, especially with the visual effects, like or practical, because I think a lot of the Boar stuff was obviously like a model. There's definitely scenes where you can tell it's
That
CGI,
wasn't a
but-
real boar, Joe.
well, it might have been, John. I don't know. If we can't decide if the bear was real in Chernobyl Diaries, like I don't know.
Oh, it was a real boar.
But I don't know, like it just all the dialogue, there was just so much dialogue for no reason. Like it felt like they only had so much budget to have this animatronic boar on screen, and they were trying, like the director was like, we need to fill an hour and 38. Like I don't know, just talk and fill up the scene.
I mean, to be fair, they probably didn't need the 8.
There's no.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I don't. Maybe he gave that direction, and then they just went like overboard. He's like, "Oh fuck, what do we do now?" So,
I can't cut any of this. It's gold.
It's all gold.
Get out and hire an editor.
so I don't know. Like it wasn't fun enough to me to be entertaining. So I was just kind of like done with it.
All right, thanks, Joe. CC, it's unclear to me if you saw this. Did you watch this?
So I got to kind of skip through parts that were not buffering. So I
No,
feel like I
no
was
no
able to-
satellite on that private beach, huh?
No, John didn't give me the VIP package, just the
It's not cool.
The password
Baseline.
for Wi-Fi.
yeah. I'm on DSL,
It's
right?
it's Duke. It's just Duke.
Trump 2020 didn't work like John told you it was.
You know what, Joe? I think that joke's officially not funny anymore.
That's low. That's low.
Yeah.
That's what's right. I would not even type that. So I think I was able to glean the
You refuse to use it.
yeah after you. But yeah, I mean, I think that it was a little long. If I had to have watched the whole thing, I did appreciate the monster design. I like thinking that there's some weird shit out there that we don't know or we hadn't seen. So I mean, it was interesting in that regard, but it was just a little too much talking. I was like, I want to see this boar like rip a whole bunch of people apart, and it just took too long to get to that.
Listen, yes. Also, it does. To be fair,
You can't rebuttal everyone's opinion.
have
I
we?
mean, I guess you can.
Have you literally ever had a conversation with me ever, Joe?
Yeah.
John. Sorry, Casey. What about you?
Do you guys care if I recite my recent TED talk on how Boar is like oatmeal?
No, I like that
No,
actually. That was a
the
pretty good
best.
analogy.
It was amazing.
This makes my thoughts pretty succinct. Boar is like oatmeal. It's kind of bland, and I'm not that excited about it. After I eat it, though, I feel pretty filled up, and I'm satisfied. I kind of forgot I was eating oatmeal sometimes, but then I get a bite of cinnamon and brown sugar and think, hey, that was pretty nice.
And also, it just keeps you regular, and that's
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
And then I go
Oatmeal
back to
is
forgetting
great.
I'm eating oatmeal while I read my internets. And then later somebody will ask me, hey, how was your breakfast? And I'll say, my oatmeal was all right. And then we'll forget about it. And that's my review of Boar.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
pretty fair.
But Eric is trying to make this movie not shitty. Yet he said that oatmeal makes you regular. So.
Listen.
That's a feature, I think, right? That's a
Yeah,
positive.
that's a plus.
I like fiber. Okay, CC. John, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I actually enjoyed this more than average, I guess. Which I don't know. Like, this is probably my kind of bad.
Wait,
that-
John, are you with me?
Yeah, no,
Oh, man.
I'm with you here. I
Hell
mean, like,
yeah.
Oh,
I-
Lord.
I
don't
needed that
actually-
today, buddy.
no, I don't disagree. Like, when it's funny because until Joe said it over the email, it didn't even like occur to me that there's just like an astronomical number of characters in this movie.
there
So,
is.
just to give you a sense,
And like mostly white, not all white, but like kind of hard to
No.
keep track. Like there's scenes that would jump to different characters, and I'd be like, "Who is this person again?"
well, they're specifically like the people who were camping and got killed. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was the first group
Yes.
of people.
Yeah.
It was very confusing. No, just to give you a sense, like so I was looking at their IMDb page. there's like whatever 20 named characters, and then there is literally pub goer up to number I believe 32 or 33. So like, there's several scenes. There's probably like 10 scenes in this movie that take place in this pub. Joe, I thought you'd be interested to know the woman who ran the pub, who ends up being like a pretty big character. She was on Real Housewives of Sydney.
Oh,
See, now you're talking Joe's language.
No,
we have actually watched that. I gotta go and maybe take a look again.
I mean, I don't know what season, but I just saw it was in her credits. No, I mean, so my suspicion is if you are like from Australia, that like a lot of these people are like more famous potentially than like they are to us. So, and I do think that's why there's so many people in the movie, is that it was just like, let's see if like all these people say yes to being in our crazy Boar movie, and like, and then a lot of people said yes, and like here we are. I don't know, like I had a good time with this. Like definitely there's too much dialogue. Definitely like I don't know. There's just it's just like kind of like sloppy scripting at a certain point, but
well,
I
yeah,
thought
it's like the
sweet.
yeah.
There's some great boar eating people scenes.
It's
like,
hard
I
to
don't know. What else
I
do I
think
need?
the like biggest scripting problem is that it's really hard to identify who the main character is, and you think you
There's
kind of
no main character.
well,
There's
that's the
not
point, right? And so
The
there's
boar.
there's
The
no
boar is the main
nobody
character. Yeah.
like nobody has an arc, and the characters you're kind of like spending the most time with, all of a sudden are just eviscerated and like gone, and you're like, oh, that okay, and then you're like with. And I get this is probably an audience thing. Like I know Bill Moseley. I mean, I recognize him, and it's weird. He's playing this like stuffy, put upon dad, which when you've
I
seen
thought
him,
he was like pretty. He's like a cool
I love
dad,
it. I
though.
love it. No, but but the whole point is that he's kind of like
Cool dad.
he's intimidated by the uncle or the brother or whatever the other guy's the giant murder man,
Yeah,
and
Nathan Jones.
and he's
Guy's
trying.
like
You know, it's like
9'8".
but he's
Mr. Jones.
he's endearing, right? He's trying to. You know, put the foot down with the daughter's boyfriend, and the guy this is just being intimidating, and it's just kind of adorable because he's not, you know.
Yeah.
But
But even him and the brother, like the He-Man, like they kind of had like a fun back and forth. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of like
no, I love
Don't
it.
make
But
me
that's
break
my
your
point.
neck,
And
yeah.
then he's spoiler alert. He's kind of just gone at some point. And I'm like, well, I don't care about the rest of these people, you know. But no, I don't. Listen, I think that people should know that Joe's been badgering me all day over text message about this movie.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, but no, whatever, it's fine. I mean, I'm being forced to like pick between this and Crawl, which I feel attacked by. But
I just don't understand how you can enjoy this yet Crawl, which like actually moved along and was
you know
like,
what it is, and like
That's a fair point.
listen, it's a
no,
it's
like
it's
I'm
a
with Joe on this. To be clear,
I do
but-
I think that scripting wise, technically, like Crawl is a better movie. I think that on a personal level, I appreciate when things are rough around the edges because that gives them more character. Crawl is like, and maybe this is part of my problem with it all along, it's just so slick. And like, that can be a good thing, but this thing is like stuck together with duct tape, and I really appreciate that about it.
How
Hey,
dare your movie have plot? and
Ugh.
Real
characterization?
important here, though.
This is
Momentarily,
too enjoyable.
we're all
Alright.
friends here. We've known each other a long time. It's okay to admit you're afraid of gators.
Listen, I lived in Florida, man. I've seen some gators. No, but listen. The points are all very valid. There's too much talking in this movie. The gator action, or the gator, Jesus Christ, you guys. The boar action is great. Like Bill Moseley gets rocked. You know what I mean? These like, you know, these hunters in the beginning really get it, and then like I like the kind of echoes there of like American Werewolf in London or something, because you're on this kind of rolling prairie in the night, and you see, you know what I mean?
Well, there's lots of like Jaws stuff. I feel
Jaws,
like.
Vanilla
Not like
Ice.
any. I don't know. It just like has that kind of like.
It's not
don't go into the
heavy-handed,
water,
but yeah,
like-
I mean, yeah, totally. And you know, but Casey's analogy is like 100% right. You're not gonna remember anything from this movie except maybe a couple of the death scenes and how weirdly horny it is. And
Yeah, exactly.
but it's
Which
fun.
is your
Super
bites
horny.
of cinnamon and sugar? You know, cinnamon and sugar. It's just every once in a while you get that
yeah,
bite. It's like, oh, that was pretty
all
fun.
right.
Can I go to bat for the horniness as a virtue of
John,
the film?
John,
I have never wanted anything more than for you to continue this stuff.
Yes.
No, I mean
Please.
I actually don't have too much to add other than like I don't know, it's like a change of pace
I'm
than
into
like
it.
some anesthetized like
But
no
it's like-
sex.
No, but it's
stuff,
just
you know?
it's just
First
funny.
scene, First of all, that car ride looked miserable. You have 5 people crammed into a hatchback. Not like there was no kids, like grown human beings.
Yeah, they were all full-grown adults.
And it's like it's brother and sister, boyfriend, and then like the adults, and like within seconds they're talking about rim jobs, and like everyone's just like, yeah, this is something we talk about.
I know, in front of the parents and the brother.
Yeah, the parents are just like,
I appreciate
Billy.
it.
Joe blushed.
You're not gonna fuck my daughter at the gas station again, all right? We need to get where we're going.
Well, that's
Oh,
where
the parents were joking about how they would do it. It was
yeah,
amusing.
not
It was-
not a visual I particularly needed of Bill Moseley, but here we are. I mean, it's a funny thread. I mean, frankly, like John's right though. It kind of keeps the movie interesting because it's fucking crazy. Like the thing that really kept getting me was that, right? There's this whole thing with the boyfriend, and it kind of plays against your expectations. Like you think that there's going to be an arc and they'll come to an understanding, and they really never do. And the thing with the uncle is he's like terrifying and giant and scary, and he does intimidate the kid, but it doesn't really in any way change the way the kid's acting. He's still just like all
There's
over
no
this girl.
arc to anyone in this movie.
Yeah. I just like, I have questions about Australia. That's all I'm saying.
I want to go more after seeing this movie.
Yeah.
Not
No,
because
I
it
think
looked nice.
I think that fits.
All of these people seemed like good hangs. Did you guys get that?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's what I
They
mean.
all seem like people I'd enjoy hanging out with. Like that bar. Like I would go to that bar.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's like full of horny people talking about being horny.
Yeah.
Just
Well, when when
middle of
the
the
huge
middle
guy-
of the day, throwing them back.
Yeah.
Broad
There's like
daylight.
these 2 cougars hanging out in the corner. They're just like, you know, telling the bartender like, "I want to fuck your dad." Like, that's what I want to do.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That conversation was a lot.
Yeah, that was the horniest conversation in the movie among many horny conversations.
And like that father was no catch. Like, who is he to say no? I'm like, what are you doing?
I had the same thought. So I don't know. There was an emotion, Joe. There was an emotional moment though where he talked about missing the mom. She'd been dead for 15 years.
And that again, like
Were
it's
any of
the
you thrown off by John Jarrett playing the role there of Ken? I think that was the dad of the girl that ran the restaurant.
So I recognized him, but where do we know him from?
Wolf Creek. He was in the 2 Wolf Creek movies, which is 2 of the better like slasher flicks that have come out of Australia, and it had a TV show too.
was that
The dude's generally terrifying, so it was a little off-putting for me to see him
Were-
cracking
was that
wise
zombie movie that we did with Lupita Nyong'o? Was that an Australian movie, or was that from
Yeah, I think so. Technically, Little Monsters.
Little Monsters? Yeah, Josh Gad. It's pretty good in that. I don't know, other scenes that stuck out to you guys. I mean, that bar is like you could do a whole show on what's going on in that bar.
So, well, can we just talk? Let's talk about Bill Moseley for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Because,
please.
like,
I've been waiting to tell my bird story about him.
Exactly.
Let's cap it at like 5, John.
no, but this like completely changed my conception of who Bill Moseley is as an actor. That he could like.
He's
I
got
thought he was
got
great in this.
range, dude.
Yes, but like I basically only know him from
Yeah.
the House of a
zombie
Thousand
movies
Corpses,
and
the
stuff,
zombie
yeah.
movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Also, I can never let it go unsaid that he is in a band or was in a band with Buckethead called the Cornbugs, which is on Spotify and as weird as you're thinking in your head right now.
But like he cleans up really nice. Like he looked like a totally normal guy.
Yeah.
He played normal, very like I don't know.
I
it was-
missed
it
the
looks very-
Otis.
Are you saying the way you like the way he filled out those dockers?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
He's in good shape, okay?
Any movie he's in where he's not in like dirty tighty whities, just running
Yeah.
around like I'm.
I know.
And not just every
A+ for
line,
me.
not just every line saying things that makes you want to crawl out of your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
The
he's
difference
talented.
between this and any other Bill Moseley role is they let him shower.
But like to your point, John, like he's like there's a lot of subtle, subtle is not what you think of from him, but in these scenes where he's interacting, particularly like this scene where he's having this like father of the bride moment with the boyfriend, like he's doing subtle comedic acting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool to watch. Like I said, that's my favorite part of the movie, which is why when he gets literally exploded into bloody pieces, I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah,
There goes the neighborhood.
It's hands down the best death. Like not even that. Like there's other moments that are fun, but that one.
Yeah.
real solid.
And I don't think anybody in this movie was terrible or anything like that at the role. I think everybody put in pretty solid performances. The problem was on the back end with the editing and stuff like that, where we came in who they were working with what they had. I think they did a good job with what they had.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was the script where it's like, you don't need this much dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
again, it's like, so how do we feel about this like murder uncle character? Because like, I don't know what the movie wants me
Is
to
that what
feel.
he's billed as? Murder
Well,
Uncle?
I mean,
Wait,
he's just
Nathan Jones? Yeah,
he's just
I thought he
terrifying.
was great.
no, he is, but the script is weird. I don't know, like he's. I didn't find the menacing part of it. Like, I think they wanted to be endearing, but I found him to be like psychotic. And then, but then they give you
I
these,
kept trying
they
to-
give you
yeah.
these moments where like he's in the bar and there's like this Me Too thing happening with a waitress and he just beats the shit out of this guy. Like that's like, they're giving you a positive character moment. But overall, I found him to be like creepy and like overbearing.
It's tough because he's gigantic, and you're like, is this man simple? Like, what are we going for here?
I don't know. I did not have
Like-
any problem with it.
I know you loved that scene where he raps all of Ice Ice
That
Baby.
was
But I'm like,
delightful.
what the hell am I watching?
Because
here?
it's so out of nowhere. Like, why is that just, why?
For me, that moment was like, are they trying to like signal that he's like a white supremacist? Like, what is going? Why is he rapping the song right now? It was very
Wait,
strange.
what? Why are you? Okay,
don't
I
know,
mean,
it's
listen,
like,
it's
why-
2020. Why I know why you're thinking that, but
But like,
Yeah, I don't get
he could
that.
rap any of 100 million songs, and they I don't know. It's just like
Is
they put
Ice
the, like,
Ice Baby
latest
known in
rapper
groups
song.
as like a racist
No,
song?
but it's like it's a weird
because
but-
Vanilla Ice is actually, now that I really stop and think about it, I'm not really following you.
Well,
No?
because it's like like they picked a one white rapper song that like people know. Like I don't know, like why it's a weird reference. Like why a 90s?
It is. It's a weird random reference, yes. Although it's just a funny
it-
song. It's funny to hear somebody sing that song.
I don't know.
You know why, John? Because it's kind of universal in that it's so stupid, but if it comes on, your ass is singing that song.
Yeah, but he puts it on, doesn't he?
No, they just cut to him.
Yeah,
in
it just
car.
cuts and he's just going.
All right.
It is
I don't know.
also,
The whole
like,
thing was
it's
weird. I
like
was
the
just what am I
whole-
supposed to take away from this?
It's like the
yeah.
whole
Yeah,
song.
I agree with you on that one, John.
It's like the whole song, right? Like that's why it's.
It's a majority of it.
For
He
t-
knows about a third of the words. Like
he was pretty good. I don't know.
just
He
like,
did better than I would do
"Eh,
in 2020.
We'll do it once.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get what you get.
I did enjoy though when the car got blown up. Like so that moment. I mean, whatever. This is somewhat of a spoiler, but like the boar. This is where the thing that I liked about this movie is the boar just does crazy shit. You're like, why the fuck does this boar need to eat all these people? Like you would think the boar ate one person. It was kind of like full for a little while. No.
Have
This
you
is a big
have
thing.
you
Anyone that can
ever
find
have
it.
you
A lot of
literally
it, like,
ever
he's
seen?
just ripping heads off and
Yeah,
leaving
yeah.
the heads? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
this is where like the Jaws reference to me, because like Jaws like wasn't eating these people, like it was like mostly just about like killing anyone that was in the water really, and that's sort of what the reference like where this kind of feels like that to me.
I mean, John, like literally every monster movie, the monster just eats. That's the point. And at some
No,
point, somebody's like, he can't still be hungry, and then somebody else is like, yes.
Do they
yes.
say that in this movie? I don't think it comes up, but
No, I've been
But
watching.
he's the
I've been
pig,
watching
you
like
only get the pig.
Creep Show
Yeah.
2 has been on Shutter TV like a lot lately, and I like watch it every time, and it's in there, whatever.
you
not
do have
important.
to explain why the animals keep eating. That's
Yeah,
again,
you gotta
one of
address
the
it.
Genius moments.
This
of
thing is
Crawl,
enormous, though, John. It's
bunch
like
of
John.
crocodiles.
It's
So-
it's
more than one,
this
yeah.
is mega fauna, okay, John. It needs to
It's fair.
keep eating. That's why they're not here anymore. There wasn't enough stuff to eat.
It doesn't really eat much of the Bill Moseley corpse, though.
I did. I kind of
just like-
appreciated too that he had like a little boar posse. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, all the like mini boars.
Also, do we know that it
Yeah.
was a dude boar? I don't know that we
Well,
do.
boar indicates male. That's the only
Ah,
reason.
okay. Bill Nye. All right.
Yeah, that was from the word of the day. Or
No,
whatever.
I got it. I got it.
I will say I do have one other nitpicky thing, and it's about the bar and the bartender. a number of times they reference what an amazing cook she is, yet all I see come out of that kitchen is like gas station sandwiches in pre-wrapped.
No, literally, like with the the plastic wedge with like the little
Yeah.
plastic
Like,
on
you
top.
didn't make those.
Yeah, that's pretty funny
You
actually.
never know. She could have been like mixing up some chicken salad in the back overnight.
man,
And
She's
then
got
like
deal on
she has
packaging.
like a sealing machine that she's putting it in the.
Yeah,
You
what?
don't
You can
know.
buy those. It's not that crazy.
It's not
Alright.
like Australia's a third.
You
world
own that bar. You're not getting like a professional grade like sandwich packing machine.
Is that what you're
No,
positing?
It's a piece of plastic in a bic.
Is
right?
that what you're positing here, John? That she's mass packaging her own fake sandwiches?
I'm just saying
just-
she could make
Gas
a
station sandwiches.
killer tuna sandwich, and yeah, she packages them.
Maybe
What's
she's
the-
trying to make something of herself. Why do you want to hold her back?
There you go. With that dad, I mean, championing.
Completely-
Exactly.
Jesus.
Completely off topic, but I feel we're going off the rails here. Anyway, I happen to have Will Ferrell's IMDb page up in front of me for no apparent reason, and Eric listed as the producer, Will Ferrell, on a movie that has been announced, Hansel and Gretel: Witch Hunters 2.
Oh,
Fuck.
Ay, ay, ay. All
Now
right.
you just made me more sad because I know they're not making movies right now. You know what I mean?
I would take a Boar 2 before I took a Hansel and Gretel. Witch
No,
Hunters.
No.
you take that back.
yeah.
Now.
I would rather learn more about the sugar
The,
sickness.
the
than
steampunk,
pork
the
taste.
steampunk
Yeah,
sugar
the
sickness.
No,
That movie
like
was
no
so
cast
good.
or anything listed, but who's Bruno Evelyn? I don't know who that is. But
I
he's
feel like
listed as the...
those Avengers movies are done, right? Like Jeremy Renner, it's like now's the time. He needs a job.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Was
Yeah,
that
Chris
other?
Evans thinks works.
Who's the other? It's Gemma Arterton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only
is.
took me
And
12 years.
Amki was in there too, wasn't she? She was like the head witch.
She was the evil. Yes.
Amki.
It only took me 10 years to learn how to say Gemma properly.
Urges.
Joe, your clock is at least a couple minutes slow.
John, I've spent the last week. So you move the pendulum a little bit up or a little bit down, depending if it's fast or slow. I've spent the last week and a half trying to get it like exact, and apparently it's still a little slow.
I'm
so.
not gonna lie. I find the whole cuckoo clock thing like a little unsettling.
Well,
It's
that's
you know.
I gotta tell every work call I'm on, because most of them are on. We use Microsoft Teams, and it's on video. Every call, I have to discuss the cuckoo clock, like within the
It's
first.
because it's it's a lot. When I was a kid, like I had like good friends who we just partied a lot, and we were younger. He lived with his parents, and they had this giant, terrifying like grandfather clock.
Oh,
that
my
would-
parents have one. Yeah.
Would go off, and it you'd be drunk in the night, wake up, and it's like a horror movie, and you're just in it.
Oh, my friends hated when I had a party at my house because literally every 15 minutes throughout the night,
Yeah.
or like on the hour, it's just like boom.
It's not great.
Boom.
Yeah. I
Uh,
can still hear my dreams. My grandma's clock doing dun 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 dun.
is that? Oh, I was like, is that like a Gregorian chant or something? Is there anything else?
Almost.
Anything else from this movie you want to talk about? There's got to be something. Finale. What about the finale? How do I feel about the fate?
So here's the problem. There's no characters, and so the finale feels a little anticlimactic. And in fact, like
and the ones that are there are like, oh, okay, all right.
They were like background. I mean, it's the family, but they weren't really the ones you gravitated towards, with the exception of whatever the hell his name is, the giant man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you like. I don't know. Again, like I'm biased because I'm American and he's the one I know, but I think you like Bill Moseley the most because his character's the most like normal and endearing. You know?
Yeah. I could have gone with him. I could have gone with the bartender. Like I thought she was like probably the most competent actor or at least the most like endearing character. Like I would have liked if
Well,
she showed
I
up
mean,
somehow.
But she does. Like she is ultimately like the one who kills the boar.
Wait, what?
The bartender?
I thought it was the wife.
No. The bartender drives the car, hits the boar, and that's what like kills it, and then the wife
Oh, well,
shoots
that's
it.
it. Yeah.
But,
But like she really just shows up at like the very end, right? Like
well, but that's
the
my
last...
point. Is like it's kind of like it's a little anticlimactic. So you have them running, the family is running away, and they're sort of one by one getting picked off,
Yeah.
and then eventually, it comes down to it's the daughter and the wife, or the mom, but they're still saved by the bartender.
Yeah.
Who you're waiting for the whole time, because the bartender's like, that's it, I'm
Exactly.
going to find my dad. And then somehow she comes flying out of nowhere, jumps the car off like a jump into the boar. I mean, that scene I loved. I thought it was a sweet scene.
No, I agree with it. That was good. I think I enjoyed her character. I would have liked more of it. Like, if the last 15 minutes was really her and Mr. Uggo or whatever the hell his name is, like, partnered up like that.
You wanted more dialogue scenes of the bartender with the bar patrons.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
All right, guys. We lost Cece, unfortunately. She's on a beach or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Drinking a Mai Tai.
And I think Casey's dropping a deuce.
We're trying to get her back in. Casey's coming back. I don't know. We're taking a break. Let's see what happens. Would you recommend this? I think Cece's a yes. Right.
I disagree with that.
Joe, what about you, buddy?
No, I would say absolutely not.
Mr. John.
Yeah, I'm going to say summer vacation film.
Yeah. Sure. Like, listen, if you like mediocre monster movies, I'll just say it. I'll admit that, right? And
Our summers are already terrible. Why not make them worse?
I think a lot of people like monster movies are just one of those subgenres. Some people are way into it. Some people only want to see it when it's next level, right? That is not this, but it's fun. Like, there's some fun effects and it's horny. I don't know, man.
Maybe I'm learning about myself.
Maybe you need a horny movie in your life during
movie.
quarantine. I'm not judging, believe me.
I'm gonna go look up Razorback. I'm gonna see if I can check this out.
Honestly, it has a really sick, like 80s VHS cover that I very much remember.
That's all I remember of it. I don't
remember
think I've
from
ever seen
being
it,
a
but
kid.
it's
That was like it was definitely a video store staple for sure.
It was
Is
like
that
your
the one
wedding
that with Clive Barker was involved with?
I mean, it's from
No,
84,
no.
I feel like no.
No, you're thinking
Rawhead
of
Rex.
Rawhead Rex. Yes, that's the movie he directed, I think, himself. His first movie or something. Casey, what about you, buddy? Thumbs up, down? What you got?
I'm going to say no. I just got lost in the dialogue and kind of...
right.
So.
You look...
Sorry.
Are you okay? You look... I'm sorry, you look sweaty?
No, I was walking the dog right before we started, and it's warm in here because the dryer's going.
I just looked
so yes,
over
I'm
and
a
you...
little sweaty.
I looked over and you looked like you needed a moment.
No, I'm good.
Casey, did you go jerk off?
He's gonna make it.
Yeah.
He's
That
gonna
takes
make it.
2 minutes, thank you.
All this horny talk. I gotta... I'll be right back, guys.
God damn it. All right, guys. Yeah, let's take a quick break and let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
At St. Bernard Academy, 4 outsiders are about to make all their wishes come true. With a vengeance.
Magic. We can make things happen.
You're a witch!
Surprise.
The Craft.
Girls, watch out for those weirdos.
We are the weirdos, mister.
Rated R at theaters Friday.
Hi, I'm Denise Crosby from Pet Cemetery and Mortuary and The Walking Dead, and you are listening to Bloody Good Horror.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
Joe, I personally hand selected that bumper for you because I know you are the proud owner of a Feruza Balk pop now.
It was a real big day in the Chinese household
Yeah.
today when that thing showed up on the doorstep.
Can we talk about your kind of intense, like nerd spank bank row of pops that you have sitting in front of your computer
Yeah.
that you showed everybody in
absolutely.
Slack today? It's
Yeah.
like a murderer's row of like Joe's life.
I mean, it definitely spans the ages of my childhood and youth up to my adult of women I've been infatuated with, I guess is the right word.
So
there's
happy for Cece to not be here right now.
I mean Cece approved, I think.
Yeah, she gets it.
She's not not new to this rodeo, John, you know?
Yeah.
That's fair. Fair point.
No, I've got Red or Joan from Mad Men.
Okay,
I've got
yeah,
my new
sure.
Kraft one. There's Greta the Gremlin, obviously we've discussed.
I mean, obviously, right? That one's got to be there.
Did you guys watch The Good Place? I got my Janet.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
And then obviously Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for you to get that one.
You're not sneaking that one by us.
But they're like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
if I'm interpreting this picture that I saw correctly, right? They're like lined up in front of you on your desk every day.
Well, I'm actually my collection, I've gotten a little obsessed, but I still I only like to buy ones that I actually have a tie to. I'm not just gonna buy ones just to have a collection.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to run out of space here in the spare room. So I arrange them in a way that I find enjoyable, and the ladies just happen to end up at the screen position.
Okay. Can I ask? Are there more that need to be added? Is this like a journey?
It depends. I saw today they announced that there was going to be some Anchorman ones, so I might need to pick that up. Who knows? Who knows where time's going to take us?
Cool, man. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
To
I got my Guy Fieri one a couple weeks ago. Big fan of that.
Donkey sauce. I like it. You made some donkey sauce, right?
I made donkey sauce over the weekend, and what I discovered is, one, it's delicious, and two, no matter how much you brush, you still have garlic breath for about 3 days.
Yeah. All right. Not a great segue, Joe. You want to talk about t-shirts?
Yeah. So
I got nothing.
I think. What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. No, I mean we've talked about it a ton, obviously. So today being July 1st, this I think will come out on Friday, but we're recording on Wednesday. So through the month of June, we had decided that we're going to donate all the profits from our online sales to Color of Change, a great organization. And yeah, I can't begin to express how humbling it was, the amount of sales we got. We ended up raising, at the end of the day, over $1,000 that we're donating. So again, thank you guys so much. I was actually trying to find the total number of t-shirts and everything that we sold in the store, but we don't actually have that number on TeePublic for some reason. But it was amazing. Anytime we would post, there would be at least 10 to 15 that get sold, and we had a trickle throughout the month. So again, thank you guys so much. It's really amazing, and we're super happy with the turnout. So thank you.
Yeah, man. It was pretty overwhelming, I think. So
yeah.
And Joe, thank you for setting that up, buddy. You should get the credit for that.
That's what I'm here for.
That and weird pop
that
fantasies.
And accusing Casey of jerking off in between breaks, and
you contain multitudes, Joe. I appreciate that about you. All right, guys. info@bloodygoodhorror.com is the email address. We got a couple of pretty nice emails tonight. First up, Joe, this one is aimed at you.
Oh.
And I use that word intentionally.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Caitlin and Kissimmee, bringing the heat as usual, Joe. Sorry, trying not to burp. Drank too much water. I think Joe has forgotten his core reasoning for starting. I forgot about this, by the way. I just need to say this, and it brought it back.
Yeah.
I think Joe has forgotten his core reasoning for starting the quote-unquote Smile Squad when he said that Scare Package wasn't good. That movie was super dumb and enjoyable, and I thought it was just a nice, fun thing to not care about. Eric had said something about the synth music, and boy howdy, was it packed. Fun watch, surprisingly enjoyable. We need Smile Squad now, more than ever. Joe, please remember who you are.
I mean, I agree, but I mean, what did she refer to it as? What, like dumb and entertaining, or what was the?
This isn't about her, Joe.
Yeah,
This is about you.
I'm just saying. I mean,
What the hell was like? I know what Smile Squad was. What did that come out of?
I think it was like.
Was it John making us watch like snuff movies?
No, I think it had something to do with, like, honestly, like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter comes to mind. Like, I think it's like those fun movies that are like they're dumb.
Yeah,
but,
I'm
like,
just saying there was a
super
show.
fun
It was
and,
born
like,
on a specific show, and I just don't remember what that was. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Joe
think that
says
movie
a
was...
lot of stuff that I try to forget, so
yeah,
that's up there.
I don't think it was fun. Like, it was just shitty acting.
Listen, I didn't read this so you could continue unloading. Okay, Joe? I'm just.
Yeah, let's move on.
Listen. I just, thanks to Caitlin for having me.
I'm all for smiles, all right? Like I said, I'm wearing the Hawaiian shirt every Saturday, listening to Jimmy Buffett, having a good time. When I have to watch a shitty movie, it brings down my buzz, man.
This next one is from Whitney. It's a very nice email. We all know Whitney. She is a longtime listener, big slacker, big part of the community. She wrote in to say, I wanted to thank you and share a little bit with how much the BGH Slack community has meant to me these past few months. Each week there's something for me to do, whether it's Jody's trivia, trading items, and turnip selling in the Animal Crossing channel. Boy, that's been a journey. Alyssa's book club, weekly watch and chats, or tuning in live for the last drive-in on Fridays. I find myself laughing alongside people I now think of as friends. So thank you, Bloody Good Horror, for bringing all these people together over a common shared interest. And thank you to the Patreon community on Slack. You all accept me for the silly and loud person that I am. 2020 has been a hell of a year, but at least one positive has been being more involved in the Slack community and making friends, talking about horror, and lots of laughter. And thank you for that.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I think that
was really nice. Definitely not verklempt, so.
Like, I think, everybody's always gotten along there, but I think since, we've all kind of been working from home and, been in front of our computers a lot more, like, it's definitely grown, which has been super nice. I mean,
grown to a point where, like, you can't ignore it.
No, and I feel like us, like, the podcast folks have kind of stepped back a little bit. Like, I know I've been a lot busier, so I haven't been as active, and I think, like, John and Casey and, Eric, I know.
It's like taking on a life of its own.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the important thing here is when she talks about the things like the watch and chats and the trivia nights and stuff like that, that has nothing to do with us. That is all the community coming together and putting that together themselves.
Totally. We could 100% not be relying on to set that up, but I deeply appreciate the people that are doing it. And also, like, we were doing the last drive-in together, and we've been talking about it, and that's been really special. But a bunch of the people that were in there were like, we should keep doing this. So we decided to go back every Friday night. We're doing it at 10 o'clock to kind of throw a bone to the, the Central and West Coasters, which means I'm going to make it an hour. That's fine.
It's going to be asleep.
It's fine, but whatever, like, that's fine. But we're starting over in the very beginning. We watched Tourist Trap last week. It was really, like, that's cool. That's kind of an example of what you're talking about, Joe. Like, it just continues on.
And I think this week with the announcement that the Sleepaway Camp 1 through 3 is now on Shudder, I believe the Last Drive-In channel is going to be watching Sleepaway Camp this week.
Well, yeah, because Sleepaway Camp was the next one in the original marathon, and I think there was a question of whether or not it was going to be back on the service in time, but it looks like it is. So.
Gotcha. Well, it's there now.
And I have a deep soft spot for Sleepaway Camp 2, which is a deeply problematic movie in 2020, but I mean, they all are, right? Like, that's kind of the point, but there's almost no better late 80s low budget time capsule than Sleepaway Camp 2. Yeah, that's all for email. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. Joe.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Social media. What's the deal?
I mean, speaking of, before we get to all the socials, I just want to say we're on Strava now. Which is a running app. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so I was using Runkeeper for years, but it's been shitting out on me, most notably when I was trying to run a marathon. So I'm real bitter at it. So I switched over, and they have like pretty much you can have like a team page or like a community. So if you just search for Bloody Good Horror, if that's what you're using for your exercising, we're on there. We've got a handful of folks. It's a thing. But anyway, we're also on Twitter. We're at BG Horror. Every week we post up the hashtag AskBGH. Say if you want to send in questions or whatever you want to do, we're on there. So we got a few. First up from Shiver Me Timbers 13. Pointed question here. What's up with calling any female bigot Karen? How did it become a thing so fast? Also, do any of the BGH crew know any actual Karens?
I do.
Imagine having, well, no, I think he's asking, imagine having being named Karen before this became a thing. I feel so bad for everyone in this situation.
It's been around for a while, actually, but like, I think that you know, there's a lot of like, there's a viral video thing happening, right? Where now when these situations are happening, people are firing their phones up. And with everything else going on right now, there's a confluence of those two things. And so now
I don't think it's just like bigots though. Like it's really any situation you get into.
I don't think it started out that way, but I feel like it's there now.
I thought it was entitled like white.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where it started,
exactly.
But like,
but that doesn't always mean bigoted white woman. But in any event, isn't it from The Office? Isn't it, or it's?
I mean,
I thought it was an Office
there's a
reference,
character in The Office named Karen, John, but there's lots of Karens.
No, but I thought that's like where it actually came.
I don't.
Like, there's been like articles about like where this all came from.
Are you gonna fucking make me? Are you gonna make me look this up right now, John?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure I read that it like came like it originated as a reference to The Office. Whenever Eric turns to the side, he completely disappears.
Yeah, and I think he's left. Yeah, I have the same thing.
It's very strange. Yeah, no, it's when you turn your head. It's very weird.
I don't know. I think if your name really is Karen, just embrace it. Like I loved.
It's a talking point, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know that I think that's a good idea, but okay.
No, I think it is. Like I think because to John's point, I agree. Like it's not specifically like a racism thing.
Be Karen, just don't be a Karen, and I think you're fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't. What I don't know. I'm one of these people who's like, don't be embarrassed by your name. Like live, own your name. Like live your name, whatever. But like. At the end of the day, like, they're in a tough spot. I agree. It's like a little shitty.
Listen, you're walking around right now, John. Your name's Donald. You're not like ducking for cover.
But you know what?
I get what you did there.
In kindergarten, when we discovered that a baby kangaroo was named Joey, like my fucking next 3 months was a living nightmare, Eric. All right, so we've all been through things.
I get it. I get it, man. Believe me.
It's tough for the Joeys out there.
Yeah. All right, next up from
is this
our buddy.
We on Twitter right now? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this is tweets. Our buddy Cody Yolo. Who'd make the best new Freddy Krueger? And he says Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, or Nick Cage.
Kevin Bacon.
Fucking Nick
Those
Cage.
are all good options in my opinion.
I mean, listen, my love for the Wood is clear on this show.
Can he be scary enough?
No,
he can be real fucking weird. I mean, you saw Maniac.
He can be very weird. You're right.
Yeah, he's creepy. I don't think he could be like intimidating.
I don't.
They'd have to there'd be some special effects involved.
I don't think you're ever.
At least some like lifts in his shoes.
I don't think you're never gonna satisfactorily remake that movie unless you wait like 40 years until we're all dead, like those of us that know. I don't know. It's different. It's not like Halloween or something.
Everyone who's ever thought about Nightmare on Elm Street is dead.
They must be dead first.
Yeah.
Then you can remake it because it's there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think that's too much to ask. We're halfway there.
Shiver Me Tim's 13. Oh, it's the same. What do you think of the Snowpiercer series on Netflix? I think it's on TNT or something, is it?
I think there's no goddamn way on earth right now I'm putting myself through a Snowpiercer series.
I have it sitting on our DVR like every episode, and we just have not gotten to it. No.
Yeah,
I'm already being repeatedly traumatized by Ozark on an almost nightly basis.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life.
Like, hey, stress from quarantine. You want to see somebody get waterboarded in real life for 4 straight minutes? Cool. There you go.
All right, we got a couple more on Twitter. At BJ Allen writes, given the nightmare that is existence, do you ever watch horror movies and get all jealous that the characters only have to worry about vampires or whatever? Like try applying for Obamacare and struggling to pay for the mortgage after you lose your job. Now that's scary.
No, that's legit. Like I think that's one of the underlying comforts of horror is that it's like it is a focused.
It's safe. It
problem.
has a
Yes.
beginning and an end. It's got a clear arc. You know, it's like it's a cathartic way to engage with those emotions.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in general, like every TV show and movie is weird to me now watching because like you see people at a restaurant and you're like, that's weird. Like you guys shouldn't be doing that.
I told you when we first started watching Ozark, and there's I don't know if you guys watch it, but there's this like cartel lawyer lady character. She walks right into a convenience store, puts her hands on the counter, and I had a fucking panic attack. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, this was also like in the beginning, so like it was it was on my mind, but
yeah, so good.
Cool.
Great question.
Cool.
Thanks.
We're all definitely going to get out of this and not be completely fucked up in the head, so that's fun.
Last from Twitter, that's a pod and pendulum.
Yes.
The Pod and the Pendulum podcast. What's your ideal backyard movie or drive-in double feature?
Ooh.
I mean, Gremlins would definitely be very high on that list for me.
Creep show.
Our drive-in theater, like in October, does like old school horror movies, and we saw Jaws, which was awesome. Monster Squad was super fun to watch.
Oh god, that would be really fun in a drive-in.
Yeah. Goonies we saw there was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Earth Girls Are Easy for the very first time.
Oof.
With Freddie and the gang from Night of the Living podcast at Hocking Hills, watching it over the pool. How we used to project movies overnight, and that was amazing.
Those Hocking Hills screenings were a lot of fun. Those Hocking Hills vacations too. Like these were just kind of like spooky friend vacations we kind of took for a couple of years. And I know Casey, you guys still go, but it was the first place I ever discovered Andy Sedaris movies, which are a pleasure. So there you go. Also, Joe, that noise you made when Casey said Earth Girls Are Easy, I was going to say something, and I was just like, the noise.
I don't even think I remember.
You made a noise.
I mean, I like that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never seen it before, though, before Hocking Hills, and it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
I don't know. Do we want to talk about Instagram questions?
I would love to.
That's a thing we're doing now. So, yeah, we are on Instagram at I can never tell what the hell our actual handle is.
It's Bloody Good Horror. It's the whole name.
You're only on Instagram most of the day.
Yeah, but like who? It's like your wife's cell phone number. Like, do you know that? Like, you never.
I actually do know it.
Fuck you,
I know mine.
Of course you do.
So yeah, every Tuesday I usually post up questions and just to be stupid and get people to interact. So since Twitter's been slowing down because we're all fucking ready to drop, we figured we'd do this. So we'll just take a look at a few of them. So Merle Hughes, what are the best pizza toppings? I need to choose two.
Didn't we just do this? Whatever. What do you got, Joe?
So.
What do you got?
Pepperoni and onions, I would say.
That's up there. Pepperoni's number one. I do love. I'm sure we talked about Hawaiian pizza with the ham and pineapple.
Yeah.
If you have to have two, there you go.
I'm going sausage and mushrooms probably.
Yeah, cool. I'm going Italian sausage and pepperoni.
Yeah, I would do that. I do enjoy
that's a coronary, but yes.
Barbecue.
Have you seen me lately, Eric? I'm not worried about it.
Well, I am, buddy.
I should be worried about it.
No.
Our buddy Fuji Billy asks, "What's the best beer to pair with crippling depression?"
Sweet Jesus.
All of them.
Yeah. Well, my response was like the closest one to you. Just.
Yeah, I mean the one that works the fastest. So I might recommend a barley wine, or maybe not beer, maybe just Everclear.
Yeah, or just go talk to somebody if you need to get it out. Like, I don't know. For some reason, when I read this, I felt some tinge of responsibility that what if this person really does have issues and I tell him to go drink and he just fucking goes off the deep end, and I'm like, maybe just go talk to somebody.
Yeah,
we know Dave's he'll be all right.
Joe, you being responsible and vulnerable is
I don't
like it.
For it.
It's a lot.
Let's see. Our good friend Huge Ass Woman. I like that. What's a horror movie that cures the sads?
A horror movie.
Tucker
huh?
Dale.
Yeah, that actually popped in my head. I thought Cabin in the Woods. Like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean the movie where the world gets destroyed at the end?
Yeah,
it's fun, though. It's
you don't watch
Yeah, it's
the
a fun
end.
ride, though.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you could just see Bradley Whitford dance.
I mean, the first 40 minutes of that movie is nothing but pure delight, and then it gets pretty crazy after that. But yeah. I just go for the I don't know, man. I'm a creature of habit and comfort food, and it's like I've already watched all of them, and it's like Creepshow and Return of the Living Dead and Blair Witch Project. It's not really about the movie itself to me. It's just more about what that movie means to me, you know?
It's funny that you mocked me for my choice, but everyone you just rattled off also has a very awful ending.
Yeah, I mean, they're fucking horror movies. What do you want from me? But those are at least, well, okay, Return of the Living Dead, the world probably ends too. Let's be real.
Let's see. We'll do a couple more, and I apologize. We're not going to read all of them, but our buddy Jeff Harkins, it cracks me up that John introduced me to this guy when he was designing our 10-year T-shirt, and now we go back and forth, me and him.
Oh, Jeff, dude, he's a funny guy. Jeff's he's a character.
Do you want my James Bond DVD collection? It's strictly Roger Moore and GoldenEye. It's not a great question to answer. I just thought it was super funny. James Jeffrey, 1986. Favorite heavy metal horror flick?
Pretty good question. You know what I own? You know what I own on VHS and I've never seen is the original Trick or Treat from the 1980s.
That was my answer.
I feel
to
like I need to see it.
It's pretty good.
I also own a movie.
I
own a movie called Rockula with Dean Cameron that I've never seen.
Yeah,
seems like that.
Wasn't there Black Roses too?
Black Roses.
There was Rock and Roll Zombies, which was terrible.
I mean, Joe, we've actually done a bunch of kind of cool modern ones. Are there any of those that live up to those old ones? You know what I mean? Would you prefer any of the modern ones?
I mean, I loved Deathgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does what is the movie we watched?
Lords
about?
of Chaos.
Yeah. I mean, that's not exactly the same thing, but that's probably the most intriguing one to me because it's not just about I don't mean this as an insult, Joe, but it's not just about the music wankery of it. It's the backdrop for a really intense story.
Joe's mainly there for the music wankery.
Music wankery.
Well, listen.
Well, no,
we all have our wankeries, okay, John? I get it.
No,
the biggest complaint I think people that listen to the music had about that movie was that it didn't really focus on the music itself. Not
enough wankery.
Yeah, there was
really the issue.
Could have been more wankery. I think Deathgasm was great. I loved that.
Wait,
movie,
what was the one with Ethan Embry? Sorry.
That was the one where he's an artist, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
I forget
it's
the
not
name.
Really like a heavy metal. I mean, but
no, it kind of is. That was kind of cool.
Metal.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
It's super this band's son, I think, does a lot of the music that was in there, and they're just they're kind of known for 9-minute one chord just hanging. It's a little smell your own farty, but people get into it.
Yeah.
We'll do a couple more. Dave Wen's Studio. I learned how to make cold brew at home. What have you learned recently?
Yeah, I've been home making cold brew for many years.
Yeah, we do now too. It's delicious. Yeah.
It is pretty good.
I did start like everyone else did, but I started making sourdough. And honestly, it comes out amazing. I love it.
I haven't been baking a lot, but it's not really learning things.
I learned myself how to draw.
You learned myself? Cool.
Yeah.
I've learned to just not scream at my kids all the time. Does that count?
No, you gotta not always, but you kind of got to try to get to that Zen place, or you're gonna it's not gonna go great.
No, I'm not saying I never scream at them. I just mean not all the time.
Yeah, you gotta learn to let shit go. It's not easy, but.
All right, last one. We'll do one more. Colin Noti, I'm probably not saying it right. Which horror movie premise would you like to see more of?
I mean, I
could go with more cult movies.
Yeah. What was that one we did a couple of years ago where they're in the mansion in California.
The Invitation.
That was really
Oh yeah, that was.
movies
No,
are-
I mean cult movies. I feel like have had a minute, but
House of the Devil, but I think there's more for them to explore there.
no, totally. I'm down for more cult.
I like a good monster movie, but they're they come in waves like everything else. I feel like.
Cool. That's it.
That's all I got, man. Tired. All right.
Well, you should wrap up the show then. That's your job.
Thank you. I don't think we know what we're doing next week.
No.
Nah, we've got there's some interesting options.
We have options.
I'm not going to be allowed to pick next week. That's fine. I understand.
What are you talking about? This worked out great.
Yeah.
Good job, Eric.
Thanks, John. Thank you for appreciating me. I appreciate you and your hair.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the socials. Send Joe your Instagram questions if you want to get on the show. We're also on Twitter, info@bloodygoodhorror.com. If you're interested in our community, patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. You can also check out the live stream and check out our very old, very embarrassing back episodes if you're into that. So that's something else you can do. And that's going to do it, guys. Hang in there. Hope you enjoyed our discussion on Boar. We'll talk to you next week.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.